Hello and welcome. I'm Raghav and today we are going to learn what are app actions, and I will go very basic step by step and we will learn app actions. We will also see how app actions are different from page objects and how exactly you can use app actions instead of page objects, and I will show you a very basic step by step demo. So do not worry if this is the first time you are learning app actions. I will go very basic and let us start with what are app actions? Now, in very simple words, app actions are some shortcuts in your app that you can use to quickly navigate to specific activities in your app. And we can say that app actions change the state of your app without doing any user interaction or without doing anything on the GUI of the application. Let me show you a example. I will go to this demo application. This application is created by Philip. In a moment, I will show you how exactly you can get this application and start on your system. So I have started this on localhost 3000, and here this is a application created in vue.js. If I go to the backend of this application or go to the console, I can press F12 or I can do a right click and go to inspect, and here I will go to console, and here you can see this information. If I see the view dev tools, so this is a view dev tool which I have got by adding a Chrome plugin. So let me also show you that. If you go to your Chrome apps and web store, here if you search for Vue.js dev tools, you will get this option, Vue.js dev tools. I have got this added on my Chrome, and that is the reason I'm able to see the option of Vue DevTools here. So if I go to this application and go to the Vue DevTools, you can see this is the root, and here you can see these are some app actions or some functions where I can change the state of the app. So we have a error message and show is false. If I change this, I say show true, and you can see I'm able to get a error message without doing any kind of GUI interaction on the app. Similarly, there is a show login module. It is false. If I say true, I can see the login module here, and let me make it back to false. Again, you can see there is a logged in object here and it says active false. If I say logged in active true, the user gets logged in without we having to do all the login steps. So this is what app actions are. So they provide a way to change the state of your app without any user interactions, and this is what we have already seen. So in this example, show login module is false and therefore we do not see any login module, but if I want, I can change the state to true and then we are able to see the login module. So similarly, you can do a lot of interactions with your app and change the state using app actions. Now with this basic understanding of app actions, let us go and see a demo and see how we can use app actions in Cypress. So let me create a test for login or sign up on this app, and this app I have taken from Philip, and he has this GitHub page and you can see the Trello app here. So a shout out to Philip for providing us this awesome app. So you can just get this app, you can clone this in your VS Code, or you can just directly download the zip folder from here, and then you can unzip the folder and open in your VS Code, and then you just have to run the npm install command and npm start command. So let me show you. In my case, I have downloaded the zip folder and then I have unzipped the folder and it is here, Trello app master, and the same folder I have opened in my VS Code. And the first time you start, you will have to run npm install command. This will get all the required packages and libraries, and then to start the app you can just run npm start. So I have run npm start here. Let me again show you. If I go here, this is my terminal, and here this is where I started the app. I will try again. So I have now stopped the app. I pressed Ctrl C, and now if I go and check this, oh, this was not running here, this was running here. Yeah, this is here. So if I press Ctrl C and stop the app, and I will again run npm start, it will start the server, and then we can use the app, and you can go to your browser and go to localhost 3000 to use the app. So here it is starting the app, and let it complete. And yes, you can see this is now getting started, and now I can access the app on localhost 3000. So if I go back on my browser and access the app, I'm able to access the app here. And this is a complete project. It also has Cypress, so you can see there's a Cypress folder with all the Cypress subfolders, and we have the cypress.json, all these packages and everything here. So this is a complete project. Let me also start my Cypress. So I will go and say npx cypress open, so that we get our Cypress GUI. So now let the Cypress GUI start, and what I'm going to do is first I will create a Cypress test to sign up. So if I go to this app, so here to sign up I will first have to go to login. I will click on login here, and then I will add some email ID, password, and then sorry, we have to first click on sign up here. So I will click on sign up here, and then add email ID, password, and then click on sign up. So this is the test we need to create. So let us create a very simple Cypress test, and I will go on my integration folder, and you will see some of the tests are already here. I will just create a new folder with my name so that I can know that all my tests are here, and our Cypress GUI has also started here. So under my folder, I'm going to create a new file. I will say login.js, or I'll just say login test.js. If you want, you can also use a TypeScript. And here I will say I will create a it block, and I will say this is login test, and then I will say function and declare function like this. Or the other way is, we have already learned in our earlier session, I can just give brackets and give a equals and greater than symbol, and then curly bracket start and stop. So this is our function here. Now inside the function I will use the Cypress command cy.visit, and I will visit the URL which is localhost 3000. And if I check my configuration here in cypress.json, you can see the base URL is already set to localhost 3000. So I can just say here / which will go to my base URL, and it should be able to run my test. Let me very quickly check. I will run my test and check, and this opens the browser, and now it should run the cy.visit command. So yes, it is going to the application here. So this is running fine. Now I will go to the selector playground here and get the locator for this login button, and I'll copy this and paste it in my code. And then let me also do the formatting here, format document. So there is some indentation of 2 spaces but found 4. Okay, let me convert this to a TypeScript file so that I get all the types as well. I will say rename, and that's it, because other files are also in TypeScript, so that is fine. If you want, you can continue with JavaScript file as well. After getting the login button, let me click on login so that I get the window for sign up. So I will again go to selector playground and get the locator for the sign up here link, and it's a complex locator. Let me try with cy.contains, and if I say sign up here, let us see if it's able to find or not. Yes, it's able to find the sign up here link, and it is able to find a unique match. So I can copy this and paste it in my code again, and after this I will have to Now, as of now, I'm not adding the actions, click, type, all this I will do after getting all the locators. So after clicking here on sign up here, I get the email, password and sign up button. So I will get the locator for email address box, copy and paste. Then I will get the locator for password box, copy and paste, and then I will get the locator for the sign up button and copy and paste in my code here. And now after this I will say on this login button I will have to click, so I will say dot click, and again at sign up here link I have to click, I will say dot click, and on this email I will say type, and I will give some email here. I will just say raghav@demo.com, and then again I will say type here for password, and I will give some password here, let us say 1234, and then finally I have to click on the sign up button. So this is my test, and if you want you can put this in separate lines for easy readability. I am just putting this here in separate lines. So all the commands are in separate lines, and then I will format the document. So I will do a right click and say format document, and you can see this is our complete test case. If you want you can also put this in a separate line. Alright, so I will save, and now I will run this and check. So some error here, let me check very quickly. It says there is some error in my test, no such file. Okay, I will have to start my Cypress GUI again, or I will again have to start from here. So I have to go to my Cypress GUI and click on my test, and yes, you can see user is logged in, it is working fine. So we have got our Cypress test created to sign up and log in. Now let us convert this test into a page object model design, and we have already learned about page object model design, how to create, how to implement, and what exactly it is. So basically in page object model we separate the objects and the actions from our test scripts, so that in future if we have to do any changes, if we have to do any maintenance, it is easier, it is faster, it is less error prone and very efficient. So let us try to do this. I will go back to my VS Code and go to my code here. Now for page object model we have to create a page class for every page. So let us say this is a login page or sign up page. I will create a page class for that. So I can go to my, I can create it within integration folder, but in general the test design says integration should contain the actual test that we have to execute. So I will go to the support folder and I will create a folder first here. I will say page objects or just say pages. Page objects is fine. So page objects is the folder name, and inside this I will create a file for login page. I will say login page dot ts or dot .js will also work, and here I will create a class. I will create a class called login, and to make this class available for importing in any other file I will say export class login, and here I will create the function. So first I have to open sign up window, so I will create a function for open sign up, and then I will create a function for uh, sign up and login. So these are the two functions, these are the two basic actions that we are doing. So if I go back to my login.ts, so these two statements which are opening the sign up window, this will go in the open sign up function here, and then these actions which are doing sign up and login, these will go in the second function, which is sign up and login. Okay, now if you want, you can create separate functions for each action, like enter username, enter email, enter password, click on login, all that things you can do. But generally we club multiple actions in functions based on the logic and the flow of our application. So this is done, and I will do the formatting. I will say format document, and let me press Control B on my keyboard so it hides the sidebar and you can see the complete page class here. Okay, so this is our page class for login page, and here, so I can say this login or login page, anything should work. And these are the two functions we have created. Now to use these functions in our test, I will have to import this class. So here I will say, in my test class, I will say import, and the class name is login page, and from, and within quotes I have to give the location of the file where my class is. So I have to go two locations up. So if you see here, I am inside my integration folder. I have to come out of integration folder, then go top Cypress folder, and then go to the support folder. So for that I will say import from dot dot, so it goes one level up, then forward slash, again I will say dot dot, it goes one level up again. Now I can see my support folder, and from here I need to go to page objects folder, and then this is my login page. This is where I want to go and import the class, which is login page class. Now I will create a variable to access the methods of the class. So I can create a constant login equals new login page, and now I can use this constant to access the methods. So after I visit the application, I will have to call the open sign up. So I will say login dot, and now you can see I'm able to access the methods or functions. This is open sign up, and then I will say login dot sign up and login. So these are the two functions I need, and now I do not need all of this. I can remove all this, and you can now see this is how our test looks like. So this is our entire test now. It is very clean, and we are using page object model, and all our actions and objects are separated out in this class. So whenever there is any need to change any of the actions or objects, I just have to go to this page, the class of the particular page, and do the changes here. Also, if you want, you can put all the object locators at the top of this class, so that whenever there are any changes in only the object locators, you can change it here. And all this we have learned and seen in the earlier session of page object model, so I'm not going to repeat all that, but now we are using a page object model design. If I now go and rerun my test, let us see. I will rerun and check, and yes, it is running fine. It is not able to log in, and I believe that is because it needs a new email every time. Let me try to do that and check. I will go to my login page, and you can see as of now we are also giving the data here, which is not generally recommended. The test data should come from an external file or from the test script. So you can create a argument, you can take a parameter in this function and get the username, email and password here, but for now I'm just changing it here. I will say raghav123 at demo.com, and now if I check, yes, it is able to log in. So we are able to use page object model. And now we need to add app actions so that we do not actually need to do all these actions again. So the main advantage of using app actions is, if you are actually testing the sign up and login, that is fine. You can use all this and you can do the sign up and login first, and then you can check everything is working fine. But if I want to run some other test, I want to go to some other page, I want to go to some other state of the application, every time I will have to run the login and sign up first to go to any other page, which is a kind of repetition, waste of time, and we do not actually need to do it every time. So let's say this is a very simple example we are seeing here, but in general, in real world, you may have to go to some particular page of the application, and before reaching or navigating to that particular page, you may have to do 10 different actions, or before reaching to a particular state of the app that you want to test, you may have to do many actions and many steps. Here we have the advantage of app actions, that you can directly go to that particular state or page of the app without having to do all the earlier actions. So let us check this. If I go to my code, and if I go to my application code, I go to assets and JS and Trello and main.js. So here you can see Philip has created this constant app, and you can see all these functions here. We have error message, show false or true. We have logged in state here. This is exactly what we saw initially, show login modules, and this app constant is exposed here. You can see at the end using window.app. So what I can do is, if I go to the app here, and if I go to the backend of the app, I can press F12 or say right click inspect and go to the console. Here if I say here window.app and hit enter, you can see I can see my view app here, and I can see all these options. We have logged in here, so you can see logged in here, and if I want, I can change the state of the app. If I make it true here, you will see it will be in logged in state. So as I made it true, the user is logged in. Let me change it back to false. And similarly, we have error message here. We can change the error message and say show is true or false. All this we can do. So I can access these app actions using window.app, and if I say here window.app dot logged in, this is what is exposed, dot active, and I say equals true, and you can see if I hit enter, the user is logged in. So this is exactly what I can use in my test. So here in my VS Code, I'm going to create a file, another test here. I will create a new file. I will say login appaction.ts, and here I will create a test. I will call it as login app action, and here in the function I will say let me just say cy.visit to visit the app, and I can just say /. It will take the base URL from cypress.json file, and then I will say cy.window, and then I will say dot then, and use this app here. So I'm getting this app, and then I will say I can just try to print it on the console. I will let us say what is exactly we are getting in this app, and just for reference I can say I am here and just append it here, and I will format the document. Okay, if you want, you can put all this in new lines so it is easier to read. And if I now try to run this, let us see what happens. I will run this login app action.ts file, and yes, if I go to this window action, and now if I go to the backend of this application or to the dev tools, I can do inspect and go to console. You can see here it yielded this window, and if I go to my app, my view app, you can again see all these actions and activities and the state. So logged in, error message, all this is here. So I can now go and exactly do what I did on my console. I will say app dot logged in dot active. So let me just confirm what exactly I had. This is dot logged in dot active equals true. I will say equals true, and that's it. I will save and check, and you can see it is showing me I am here. And then if I check the app, let me run it again, and it should log in. So you can see user is logged in, and now you can see the advantage. I can skip I can skip everything that we did here. So we can exactly skip all this. We do not have to run all these actions, all these steps. We just have to change the state of the app using app actions. And this is very convenient, and I can skip all the earlier actions and directly go to the state of the app. So this is how we can use app actions in Cypress. Now you must have seen that using app actions, we need to get access to the code and need to know exactly what options or values we have to use. So that is something you will have to know and understand. Now we are able to make the changes or change the state of the application using app actions because Cypress is running in the same window as our application. If you are using any third-party tools for automation which work externally and are not exactly running in the same browser, in that case you may not be able to do this. But because Cypress runs in the same browser window as our application, we are able to use the app actions in Cypress, and it is more of a white box testing than black box. As you saw here, we actually had to go and check what are the app actions, what are the values, how exactly we can change the values. So it is more of a white box testing. So you will need to have access to your app code, and you will need to know about what are the app actions you can use, what are the values, what are the options. So you will need to have access to all those things, and this is how app actions are used, and this is how we can skip the steps. And normally we compare app actions with page objects. I believe that you can see app actions as a way where you can make your testing more efficient, less error prone, and faster, and you can skip all the unnecessary steps. So you can compare it with page objects in the sense that it actually if you're using app actions, you do not have to run any of the earlier steps that you may be doing as page object model or without page object model as well. Okay, so this is what app actions are, and I hope this is now very useful for you, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and never stop learning.